I'm drinking a little bit of red wine, and as you guys probably already know, I get a little cray-cray when I drink a little bit. Welcome to episode 14 of Hub City Fibers podcast. My name is Lillian and I am the independent dyer behind Hub City Fibers. I am in the central New Jersey area, also known as New Brunswick, New Jersey area, which is what Hub City Fibers actually is. It's another nickname for New Brunswick, which is where I started to dye. I started this a couple years ago and I'm starting now to podcast. I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you like what you see, definitely hit the subscribe button and the like button just to give me a little bit of feedback. I have a little red vino in a knitting related glass, which I will talk more about later. You can find me most actively on Instagram, which is at HUBCITYFIBERS. If you don't already know, I am most active on this platform. And the reason why I am doing this is because I am someone who has yarn in her life every single day, and I knit every day and I love to create. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because I want to share what my creative life is like and hopefully inspire some of you guys to also be as creative or creatively inclined, or, you know, yeah. I guess that's why I'm doing it. I mean, I see other people that podcast and they've inspired me. So if I could do that to one of you viewers, that would be really awesome. Thank you so much if you're a returning viewer, and if you're a subscriber. I think it's awesome that I even have. It's weird because like I grew up with, you know, different social medias, but I never thought that I would actually have like subscribers. To me, like, social media has always been interacting with people that I know in real life. So it's kind of crazy that like I'm creating this little world surrounding my little yarn company and, you know, the people that are around me that knit, and it's just really cool to just be a part of something that's much larger than I. I'm gonna break this podcast into, you know, what I'm making, what my finished objects are, what I'm thinking about knitting, and a section where that I call chit chat, which is where I just talk to you about what is going on in my life, and, you know, things that might not be related to knitting, things that might be related to knitting. And yeah, let us start with what I am making. The first thing I want to show you guys is my sparkling cider hat that is living in my You Sew and Sew project bag. I think it's time to give this little bad boy a wash. I'm always really scared to wash any of my handmade bags or just anything that's just super special, because it's like this beautiful like sheep motif, and honestly I just don't want to ruin it. So if you guys have any recommendation of fabric project bags that you own, if you guys wash yours, I'd love some recommendations. Put that down below in the comments bar of how you would wash these beautiful bags. And on the inside, it's my project, which is Woolen Vine Sparkling Cider Hat. Now, this is a hat that works the techniques of cabling, beading, which I've never done before, and, you know, knitting, purling, and yeah. It's a good way to kind of see if you like to cable without committing to like a project like a sweater or something that's much larger. So if you guys have never done cabling, I think this would be a really good intro pattern. If you are an intermediate knitter, I think this would be a really good pattern to try out cabling. And she does have the written instructions as well as the charted instructions, so it's pretty cool. I think most beginner knitters like to use the abbreviations of the written pattern, and then more experienced knitters like to use charts. I might be wrong about that, but that's just what I've seen. Anyways, on to how it looks like. So far, so good, guys. I am obsessed with this project. I am loving it so much. As you know, I am using the beading technique for the first time, and oh my god, I love the way that it looks because it's holding a mohair strand with a sock yarn that I'm using. And I'm using HUBCITYFIBERS yarn in my Como Rebi colorway. And I'm also using the mohair, which is Como Rebi. And I'm using my Footloose base, which is BFL Marine Blueface Leicester Superwash BFL nylon. And it is this yummy colorway. It is this yummy colorway called Como Rebi, and it's kind of like a bluish green. And I'm also holding that together with my Como Rebi in my mohair base. And this is a lace weight yarn that has mohair and silk, which gives it that beautiful sheen and gives it kind of like that highlight. Yeah, I'm loving this project. It is absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to wear this when I go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I'm creating my outfit per se of what I'm going to be wearing and rocking at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, because that's where I'm going this March, and it's going to be my first time, and I'm so excited. And I'm also really excited to just experience Scotland in general. I love to travel, so
I'm really excited
about that whole trip. But yeah, I definitely screwed up a couple times with the cabling. I must have forgotten to finish 3 rows of the cabling, but you know what? C'est la vie. I just continue to knit the pattern because I am not going to rip back on beads and cables. That's just who I am. I feel like before I thought that being a perfectionist would be ideal when it comes to knitting, but I heard one day that Amish people purposefully put a mistake in their projects because apparently the only thing that's perfect is God. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I'm not going to go crazy and try to be a perfectionist. I'm doing the best I can. If it looks good, I'm just going to keep it the way it is. Let me know if you guys are the same type of person, or if you're like a perfectionist and you need everything to be absolutely perfect, because that's just who you are. Let me know down below. I would love to know that information. Anyways, this is going along great. I'm doing one more repeat and then I am decreasing. So this should be done very soon. And honestly, I've been mostly monogamously knitting on this beautiful hat. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's my first Wool & Vine pattern that I've worked on. I think I tried to cast on her, she had Oracle shawl. I tried to cast on her Oracle shawl. I was not feeling the circular, I wasn't feeling it. So I just, you know, c'est la vie. If you don't like it, you don't love it, why would you continue working on it? So that's my philosophy. I just gave up and I moved on. So another project that I've been working on is living in my sock bag, and it is not the last sock that I was working on. It's actually a different sock, because those are FOs. I have to show you my FOs, so that'll come up next. I casted on a mini sock, no pattern in particular, just a regular vanilla, but I'm making it with a very small cuff. And I casted on a very amazing and talented local indie dyer very close to me. Her name is, you probably know her, is MJ, and she is the indie dyer behind Cat Sandwich Fibers. And this is in her trusty base, which is 75%, 25% superwash merino nylon in her Aurora Borealis colorway. And oh my god, I'm pretty sure this is like one of her famous colorways that everybody loves to work with. And it is just this beautiful sock yarn that has turquoise and speckles of orange and bright pink and some like lavender magenta. Let's see if I can. And I'm loving this sock. It's just something I cast on because I was commuting somewhere and I really didn't want to bring a cabled project with me and with beads, because you don't knit in public with beads. That's just not a thing. If you know, and have you ever knitted with beads and you did it in public, kudos, because I don't think I could ever do that. But I am loving working with Cat Sandwich Fibers. My first time working with her yarn, and yeah, she's gonna be at Vogue Knitting Live. So if you guys are going to Vogue Knitting Live, I know that she's been working her butt off dyeing all the yarn, and she's just really talented. And yeah, visit her booth if you guys go to Vogue Knitting Live, because you will not be disappointed. Loving her, following her on Instagram as well. So that is living in my sock project bag. And guys, sorry to disappoint, I have not been knitting all that much. It was just one of those weeks that, like, not that I wasn't knitting, I was knitting every day, but I wasn't like aggressively knitting, which is what I usually do. But I did get to work on those two projects, as well as the last sock that I have been talking about in my previous podcasts. And I'm so excited to show you guys the finished items. And those are my skin deep socks. And guys, this is also a part of my Edinburgh Yarn Festival outfit. I will not be wearing these until I am in Scotland, about to go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. These are the socks that I will be wearing. And I am so happy with the way that these turned out. They're just your regular vanilla pattern with a 2x2 rib, 7-inch calf, grafted heel, and regular decrease. And this is not a rounded toe, but a kind of like a pointy toe. So I don't have fancy sock blockers. I actually made Steve do like, I think I found like a pattern online on how to make these sock blockers, and then Steve had like this crazy sticky tape, and I was like, you know what, let me use this, since it's been sitting here for years, as a base for my cardboard. I use like Amazon cardboard to make these sock blockers. And yeah, these socks are not rounded, but their socks aren't rounded, they are like almost pointy square. I almost always do a rounded toe, but I decided, you know what, let me try the other way to decrease. So I did, and I don't mind it. I like it. I'm not too picky about the kind of decrease that I do on my socks, to be honest. I missed making a pair of socks, and I love wearing my hand knit socks, so it's about time I got back into my sock knitting mojo. I think I have to cast a pair of socks on for Steve, but he has a sweater on the needles, so I'm thinking that's enough for right now. So yeah, I have not been working on his sweater, unfortunately. I just I haven't felt the need to want to pick it up. I do want to heavily pick it up. I did want to have it ready for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I still have time, but I have to start actively working on it. So there is that. That is the only FO that I have for you guys for this week. So I guess moving along to the chit chat section, and this is where I talk about what's been going on in my life about knitting and not about knitting. And pretty much what I want to talk to you guys about is the knit club that I started at my job. I am so shocked by the positive response that knitting has had in my work environment. I have like some people that join the club that are on their third hat. I made them cast on put a palm on it. I'll put the pattern right here. It's a Purl Soho pattern. It's a fairly easy knit in the sense that you're only working a knit stitch and a knit two together stitch. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, those are the only 2 stitches. I ended up casting on for all of them. I think I have like 8 people. Maybe I have like 11 or 12, 13 people. I forget. Because everybody's coming in at different bouts of the club. Anyway, it's a hit. People are loving it. I actually took some of the girls during our lunch break to a local yarn shop near where I work. I took them to Yarn Attic, which is located in Hillsborough, New Jersey, and I had some of the members of the club go and pick out some yarn, and I thought it was really cool to see them want to pick out the colors that they want and just feel the yarn and the experience of a yarn shop, which I don't think a lot of people get to experience. So it was really fun doing that. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I'm honestly shocked because a lot of people have really loved it. I have both boys and girls in the club, a lot of enthusiasm, and you know, to be honest, the way that I went into this is, you know, maybe people are going to try it and they're not going to like it and they're just going to give up and they're just not interested. But pretty much everyone in the club has stuck with it and they're really trying. And I've taught people how to knit before, but I feel like sometimes I could be a hard teacher on myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm not explaining it correctly, but you know, if you guys have any other patterns that you think would be really ideal for absolute beginners, please comment that down below. I have already a bunch of people in the club asking me, you know, oh, what's the next project? What's the next project? And I'm trying to think about accessory type knits that don't have that much technique in it. Maybe 1 or 2 steps into, you know, just besides knitting and purling and decreasing. Something along those lines that don't contain too much, because I don't want people to become discouraged with things that are too difficult or lose interest because it's not something that they're feeling. So definitely, if you guys have recommendations, put them down below. I am brainstorming and thinking that I will have them cast on these slippers that I saw in the Chelsea Pearls podcast. It was like 3 or 4 episodes ago where they casted on these hand knit house slippers. I thought they were super cute. They have a palm on it. I will post that pattern right here. And you guys let me know if you think this would be really cool for beginners to knit with. Apart from that, and my knit club at work that I started, super exciting. I also met up with one of my dearest friends, the Knitting Fagel, which is Max. He's one of my good friends. I've known him since I went to Rutgers. He came up from North Carolina. I believe he was living in North Carolina and he moved back up into the area that I am currently in. And we met up at my favorite coffee shop in Highland Park and we knitted and had just such an awesome time. Have you guys ever met up with one of your knit friends that you haven't seen in so long and you guys get together and you knit and you're just having so much fun talking about textures and yarns and yarn gossip? Because we all know there's a lot of tea to be spilt in this community with gossip and all that stuff. And yeah, I just had so much fun with Max. He got me such a lovely gift. One of them is this beautiful stitch marker that he got me. I tried to focus it. If it didn't work, I apologize. Try to move it up like this. There you go. It is this beautiful beaded, absolutely gorgeous, simple, beautiful stitch marker, and I love it so much. It's the little things that make me happy, and this is definitely one of those things that I really, really love. And he also got me these crochet hooks that go on my keychain. These 3 crochet hooks that he got me to put on my keys, and I also have this little sushi. Yeah, so it was really nice meeting up with him, and I think we're gonna meet up again really, really soon, head down to Chelsea Yarns or to a yarn shop that he lives close to, which is in Orange, New Jersey, I believe. I'll have to ask him again, but yeah, I'm really excited to meet back up with him and just have like a knit date. So there is that. As far as what I've been listening to and what I've been watching on Netflix, I have been watching Grace and Frankie. The new season just came out, so you know I'm watching that because Frankie is my favorite. I love Frankie. And yeah, that is what I'm watching on Netflix, and it's really fun to watch that when I'm just having a chill night and knitting. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in my life. Oh, I totally forgot. I got these awesome glasses as a Christmas gift from my boss. And they say, these are my knitting glasses. And I thought, how thoughtful. She knew I knitted, that I'm a knitter. And she got me these beautiful glasses that were made on Etsy. So I'm really thankful for these, which is why I serve myself wine. I don't usually drink wine, but so I think I'm going to leave the episode at that. I want to thank you guys so much for staying tuned. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want to keep up with what I'm doing on the daily. And I will leave it at that. Bye!